One of the biggest misconceptions people have, including real estate investors, is that when someone owns a home, they really don't own the home. The bank actually owns the home, which is not true. And I'm going to explain the difference between a deed that you use as a receipt of ownership of the home from a deed of trust, which is a security instrument used as a lien against the home. But before I do, I want to say this. I think one of the reasons why people have this misconception is because when you buy a car, the bank that loans you the money to purchase the car, they typically hold the title. And so you never really get a clear title from them until you pay off the car, and then they'll mail you your title. But that's not the same with homes. So there's a difference between the deed that someone has when they own a home and the deed of trust that the bank uses as a security instrument against the home. It's not the same. Now, of course, I'm not an attorney. I'm a real estate investor. And there are a lot of things about different types of deeds and different legal paperwork that needs to be done for certain transactions that I don't know. And here's the truth. I don't care, because I have attorneys, I have lawyers, I have other professionals who know that stuff, and they do it. I'm just concerned about making sure the deals that I participate in actually work. And that's about metrics, analytics, underwriting, money, numbers, and all that other stuff, solving people's problems. When it comes to some of the legal paperwork, I might not be clear on everything, but I know enough to know what I'm talking about on this. So again, so what is a deed? In real estate, okay, the receipt of ownership is the deed. Now, typically, this deed would be a warranty deed. So if you ever seen a deed, it would most likely be a warranty deed that you get at closing if you buy a house, or whoever buys a piece of real estate, they're going to get this warranty deed. And that deed is going to be the receipt of ownership. So remember that in real estate, the receipt of ownership, the receipt that you have to show that you're the owner, is the deed. So whoever's name is on the deed is the owner of that property. All right? Whoever's name is on that deed is the owner of the property. So I want you to remember that. This is a powerful statement that I want you to remember. In real estate, the receipt of ownership is the deed. Now, on the other hand, the mortgage, or in some states they call it the deed of trust, this is a security instrument on a property. So basically, when someone goes to a lender, gets pre-approved to buy a house, the lender is going to pre-approve them for a loan, a mortgage, right? That's what we traditionally call it. Well, the paperwork that this individual who's pre-approved is going to fill out when they buy the house at closing, that paperwork is going to be the deed of trust or the mortgage. It's going to be made up of most likely a promissory note and other paperwork. It's a stack of paperwork that you're signing and filling out, but it's essentially a mortgage, or it's a deed of trust. That paperwork is going to be, or at least the deed of trust of that paperwork is going to be recorded against the property that you buy, that you have the deed for. And that is going to be the security instrument that the bank uses as a lien, so that if for some reason you default on that loan and don't pay the mortgage, they have a security instrument that gives them the legal right, because you signed those documents, to hire a foreclosure attorney, start the foreclosure process, and if it makes it to the auction and nobody buys it, they have the legal right to take possession of the home, meaning that this deed will be transferred to the bank because of the deed of trust. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So I just want to make sure that we clear up this whole misconception that the bank owns your home. The bank doesn't own your home. If you're watching this video and you own a home or a piece of real estate, or if you know someone who owns a piece of real estate, ask them to show you the deed to that property. The bank's name is not going to be on that deed. Their name or their spouse's name or whoever's name is going to be on the deed. Now, again, they may have a mortgage. If they have a mortgage, then there's going to be a lien against that property. That lien is essentially a mortgage or a deed of trust that's being used as a security instrument on that property or against that property. So hopefully this cleared up this whole misconception that a lot of people have, especially when you get into creative real estate investing, like me and many others, because people who get into creative real estate investing, they understand that these are two different documents or two different sets of documents, right? And because they understand that, they know when they have the deed, they have ownership and control of that property, even if someone does have a mortgage, but that mortgage is not the receipt of ownership. The deed is the receipt of ownership.